Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Samara of CoachingConsciousCreators.com. This is the channel where you can find ways to easily, simply, effortlessly create the life that you desire. I am a manifestation coach. If you're interested in my services, I've just revamped my entire webpage. I've included a lot more categories for my services. I've included more one-off services rather than the monthly plans that I usually sell. So if you're interested in email coaching, creating a manifestation plan for something specific that you're trying to manifest, coaching around feminine energy, all those things are on my website under the booking tab on CoachingConsciousCreators.com. Also, I've recently released a journal as a companion to the Manifestation Toolkit, where I include 20 tools that I've used that are tried and true to manifest a life that I desire. All kinds of things I've manifested using those tools. I've created a journal that has the tools listed in the beginning, and then it has a page for each day to document what manifestation tool you're using. And it has the date used, and then it has a space for you to come back and review and put the date that the thing manifested for you. On the bottom of each page is a quote that helps encourage you along your manifestation journey. So now to the topic at hand. I wanted to do a video about astrology and tarot and all of those things. I feel like most of us on this spiritual journey, we're raised under a certain religion or philosophy, even if it's atheism. No matter what it is, we're all raised with this philosophy that our parents kind of hand down to us about who God is, what spirituality is, what this whole life is about. And inevitably, those of us who are seekers, most of you who are watching this channel are probably seekers, we end up coming across things like witchcraft, tarot, astrology. I mean, it's kind of like a rite of passage on the spiritual journey. There has been a lot of YouTubers coming and saying, none of that is relevant. All that matters is your intention. Whatever you put your attention on is what manifests. It doesn't have to be complicated. First and foremost, I want to say that that is absolutely true. You can bypass all of those things, witchcraft, spells, candle work, astrology, tarot, and at the end of the day, what you put your awareness on is what manifests itself in your life. Do I like tarot, astrology, all of those things? The answer is yes, and I'll explain why. So although it's true that whatever you focus your awareness on is what will come into your 3D, my philosophy is that this reality that we live in was designed for us, number one, to have to figure that out through whatever journey or process we, wake up by. But also a lot of the patterns, a lot of the cycles, a lot of the natural occurrences and natural laws are based on the patterns that we see in tarot and astrology. So the way that I use tarot and astrology is to learn more about those intricacies, learn more about the fabric that makes up our reality. So an example of that would be if you look at in astrology your natal chart or your sun sign, however deep you are into it, it gives you the energies that you start with at zero, right? It tells you, how the stars were aligned. And I truly believe that we're made of the stuff of the stars. And it tells you what energies were mixed in with your particular personality, what you brought into this reality to start with at zero and build off of. So that information is helpful because it helps you understand the rhythms that you kind of fell into coming into this reality. And it gives you insight into how you can mix things up in order to move closer to the reality that you want. For example, my natal chart says that I am a Venus in Pisces, which means that I wear rose-colored glasses when it comes to love, and that I tend to overlook people's faults and see them as their best selves while completely ignoring red flags. So knowing that, and before waking up, looking back on my past and saying, you know what, that's pretty accurate. Like, as a person who was not yet aware of my power, my God self, that definitely was my pattern, and it still is a tendency. The manifestation processes that I use directly combat that tendency or that negative aspect. I wouldn't even call it negative. It's what it is. Without all of these different mixtures, combinations, patterns, and cycles, we wouldn't experience the reality that we're in. And while all of us are still discovering our God self, these patterns are really helpful to understand so that we can make sense of the things that are going on around us, so that we can make peace with the things that are going on around us, so that we can not only understand ourselves, but understand other people. And then once we reach a certain level of understanding and we remember our God self, we can look at that and say, okay, well, this is the most efficient way to reprogram my subconscious mind based on that past behavior, or based on, the energies that I came here with. I may have to put more focus on reprogramming my subconscious mind around these ideas. And so I don't look at astrology as something that is the end all be all, like that it determines our fate, that it determines who we are and how we move through the world. It gives us a picture of the sleeping self, the self before we remembered our God self, and it helps us to target specific areas to reprogram our subconscious mind or to transform ourselves into who it is that we do want to be. Similar philosophy with tarot. I feel like tarot is a really helpful tool in understanding different energies and different ideas and different patterns that come up in this reality. The tarot deck is supposed to be a compilation of all the different pieces that make up our reality, all the different pieces that make up the elements, not just the physical elements, but those physical elements are mirrors of spiritual elements and mental elements. And so the tarot deck gives us all those different elements to examine. So the way that works for me is I may do a tarot spread for the day. And if somebody were to meet me now, they would think that I am a very woo-woo type person. But I'm an engineer by trade. For me, proof is in the pudding. I'm an INTJ, for those of you who are familiar with MBTI types. For me, it's like effectiveness is key. I don't engage or I don't dig deeper unless I see that there's some validity or I see proof that it's working. On the one hand, it makes me very cynical, but on the other hand, I can be very open to things like tarot and astrology because I don't have these preconceived notions about what's right or wrong. All I want to know is it true? Does it reflect, reality? Does it work? And so I found that both with astrology and tarot, there's a lot of truth in there. I started looking at people's natal charts, asking them for their birth information and seeing that, yes, especially for people under age 30 or under age 35 or so, that it was very accurate. But at the same time, I don't feel trapped by it because I know who I am. I know my God self. And so, yes, I can look at my natal chart and say I have these tendencies, but I can also go back within and access my God self and say, I'm going to change this tendency or I'm going to change this in my life. So with tarot, I've noticed that those energies that are reflected are super accurate. Like I've done readings for other people where I didn't know what was going on in their life, and the cards showed or revealed to me things that I wouldn't have known otherwise. And for the readings that I do for myself, it gives me insight. When I lay the cards out, I can look at those different aspects. I can look at those different energies, those different pieces of how this reality is made up, and take that information and go within and look for opportunities to improve. Or, also it serves as like a reflection. Tarot and astrology is like a mirror. Well, especially tarot is a mirror that says these are the current energies. Here are your opportunities to shift it. Or here is the direction that you're headed in if you keep down this path. So it doesn't set anything in stone. It doesn't tell my future. It reflects back to me the current inner reality that I am projecting outward. And it gives me an opportunity to examine that fully and see where there are opportunities to shift gears or to, affect my situation or change my subconscious programming, or, try a manifestation tool to change directions if I want to. Sometimes it confirms that I'm on the right track with my manifestations. It says, yes, this is where you're headed. And I know that it's a direct result of some of the manifestation techniques that I've been using. So I don't, in my personal opinion, being interested in astrology and tarot does not contradict understanding that you create your own reality, simply because it can serve as a mirror. It can serve as a magnifying glass that helps you see where you have the power to change any situation. I don't allow astrology to control who I'm being, what direction I'm going in. I don't allow tarot to convince me that things are going to be a certain way. I just allow both of those things to reflect back to me the current energies, and I use them as a tool to kind of pinpoint where it is I need to be focusing my reprogramming of my subconscious mind. So I felt like I was rambling there, but I hope that made sense. Now, again, I'll reiterate, you don't have to read tarot cards, and you don't have to look into astrology. You don't have to practice witchcraft. You don't even have to practice religion in order to successfully manifest. But, I mean, sometimes when you understand your power and that you can bring anything you want into this reality, it gets kind of boring. It's like, okay, what is all this for? What are the lessons that I'm learning? How am I developing spiritually? And I feel like examining all of these different reflections, I feel like religion is a reflection, tarot is a reflection, astrology is a reflection, witchcraft is a reflection. Examining all of these things adds color to life. It allows us to truly appreciate the stuff that our reality is made out of. So for me, it's just a fun exercise. It's just a part of being here in this 3D and exploring the energies and all that there is to enjoy and indulge in and learn from and grow from. So it's definitely a personal preference. There are some people who just focus on their awareness and their manifestation tools and their mental diet and all of that constantly, and there's nothing wrong with that. I like to sometimes come down from my God self, from that throne, from that crown chakra, and dive down into the sacral and the root chakras and really just experience all that there is to experience in this duality, in this 3D world. I like to go up and down, up and down. I feel like that's true balance. Knowing that I'm God and knowing that I am human and that I'm in this thing, like I'm immersed in this creation that consists of all of these different aspects. So that's just my personal view. Let me know in the comments what you think about all of this, whether, as a conscious creator and manifester, you engage in religion or tarot or astrology or witchcraft or any of that. I'd be curious to know how you all integrate that with being conscious creators. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, check out any services if you're interested in working with me one-on-one at coachingconsciouscreators.com under the booking tab. You can also look into monthly coaching, which includes telephone sessions as well as unlimited emails, at the plans and pricing link on the website. Thank you guys so much for watching.